In this video, you are going to learn how to add or subtract numbers written in scientific notation. Before we can go into our example, first you need to know what we mean by the term scientific notation. Scientific notation is a way of writing down very large or very small numbers. How do we know that a number is written in scientific notation? What tells us that that number is written in scientific notation? One, the first factor in the number must be greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. And that factor also is being multiplied by what we call a power of 10. We are going to see what we mean by this in our example. Using this example on the screen, it says the mass of Earth and the mass of the moon are shown. How much greater is the mass of Earth than that of the moon? So if you look at the picture here, we have our two quantities, the moon's mass and we have the Earth mass. Let us check to see if these two quantities are written in scientific notation. So to check to see if a number is written in scientific notation, the first factor, which is this number here, must be less than 10, but at the same time greater than or equals to 1. And it also must be multiplied by a power of 10. So the moon's mass is already written in what we call scientific notation. Looking at the Earth mass, we have the quantity here. The first factor also is greater than 1, but less than 10. And at the same time, it is being multiplied by a power of 10. So now that we have established that both numbers are written in scientific notation, we are going to go ahead and answer the question in the problem. So again, the question says how much greater is the mass? So basically what the question is asking you is to find the difference between the two quantities and say how much greater is one quantity when compared to the other. So we are going to subtract. Let me just rewrite our numbers here. 5.97 times 10 raised to the 24. And we are going to put that in a parentheses minus, because remember we said we are finding the difference. To find difference, we subtract 7.35 times 10 raised to the 22. In subtracting or adding numbers written in scientific notation, the rules for both operations are the same. Rule number 1, you check the powers of 10. So these are our powers of 10. If they are not the same, you need to make them the same. This is simply saying, looking at the exponent, if the exponents are different, then you need to make them the same. In this case, they are different. We have one exponent to be 24 and we have another one to be 22. So we're either going to make both of them 24 or 22. Whichever one you want to increase or decrease, the answer should be the same. However, I'm going to make both exponent be raised to the 24th power. So let us take, so this one here is already raised to the 24th power, the exponent. So I'm going to take the mass of the moon's mass and increase that exponent by 2 so we can have it raised to the 24th. So it's going to be 7.35 times 10 to the 22. To increase this exponent here, all we need to do is to move our decimal point in the number 2 places to the left. So it's going to be 1, 2. So no new decimal places right there. So our first factor is no longer going to be 7.35. It's going to be 0.0735 because we moved 2 places to the left. If we move 2 places to the left, this exponent here is going to be increased by 2, which is going to be 22 plus 2 is going to be 24. Now that we have both powers of 10 to be the same, we can go ahead and subtract. So let me just rewrite this. 5.97 times 10 raised to the 24th. Put them back in parentheses, minus 0.0735 times 10 to the 24th. Let me just highlight the exponent to show you that they are now the same, and it is safe for us to go ahead and subtract. So if you look at our exponent here, which is our powers of 10, they are the same, right? Now we can go ahead and subtract. Once the powers of 10 are the same, what all you're going to do is to write back your power of 10 here, which is 10 raised to the 24th. And what you will do with the first two factors is to subtract those. So we are going to subtract 5.97 minus 0.075. When we subtract that, we are going to get 5.895. Your answer must be in scientific notation, especially if the instruction says to write your answer as scientific notation. In this problem, it did not ask us. However, because we are looking at number in scientific notation, I'm going to write my answer in scientific notation. It is going to be 5.895. This is our solution here. It says how much greater is the mass of Earth than that of the moon. This is our solution, right? How much greater is the mass of Earth than that of the moon. Our answer is already in scientific notation, so we don't have to do anything else to it, because if you look at our first factor here, it is greater than 1 but less than 10, and it is being multiplied by a power of 10. So that is how you subtract number and number written in scientific notation. And remember, we said that whether you're subtracting or adding, the rules are the same. So if you were adding, if the powers of 10 are not the same, you need to make them the same. Sometimes you're given a problem where they are already the same. All you need to do is to go ahead and take your factors and add or subtract whatever the question asks you to do.